You gotta say, it's pretty fun. Yeah. You get small as your fun, you know? Yeah, try. Thank you for that. Going to the tour. Oh, we're having a board meeting. Yeah. Okay, you're okay? All right. All right, Mr. Chairman, I will turn it over to you. Wonderful. We want to thank everyone that gave a proposal today. Proposals to run discussion between the board and looking at a lot of the different elements around the table. The board has made a decision to move forward with arguments. Because of a structure that seems very favorable in terms of the profits, things like that, and a little bit more flexibility with control. So that is what we've decided. It was unanimous decision between all five members. But we want to thank everyone that came. We appreciate everything that went on. So thank you guys so much. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm going to be in touch with everybody, sir.
Everybody, thank you for coming. We appreciate you. You want to take a recess? Yeah, we'll take a recess. Sorry, Sam.
We already heard them. They will be a part of the collaborative meeting.
Nice. Hey, that's how it works.
I'll be in touch. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, guys. Thank you so much. We're gonna take a quick recess for bathroom breaks. Okay. Yep, bathroom break. So we were taking a recess at 1 p.m. We will resume back in 5 minutes.
$5. We talked about this.
Oh. We're gonna resume this at 1:15 PM. We're back from recess. Go ahead. They wanted to start with quorum.
There will be quorum.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Okay. Board, we're gonna jump into item 2, consideration of second amendment for amenity, management agreements. Joe, I think had you presenting this one?
Yes, so this is the amendment to the amenity management agreement incorporating the general manager services and addressing the dollar value minimum expenditure update. Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, what the request was is to change the $200 per item or per purchase to $1,000. Otherwise, is the ask for everything else to stay the same? Because right now, the district has a, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, per contract, a credit card for amenity management services with a cap of $2,000 on it. And then the limit for spending is $1,500 per month without district management sign off. Is there any part of that? And I just wanted to make sure that the $2,000 credit card cap was still okay, if you had a suggestion for that.
Second, because I think I was the one that actually brought up this question and they didn't really then process to get to this point.
I believe you're right. Did I have a motion from Bobby? Okay, I have a motion from Bobby and Debbie.
I will have that. to you.
All in favor?
Print it. and give it to her.
Okay, I need to fill in the comment, I was not there.
You can only buy $300 without district approval, so.
District manager approval,
Right.
not the
So,
board.
You have to buy the.
Only one person, who is talking? Okay.
So we have to buy that piece of paper, it's $700. So when Joe took that paper, he run out for the QR code for the passes. So when Joe saw that paper, he had to call district management, the district management in a meeting, and we can get that paper, then if we bring out, then we don't have passes. So with $1,000 cap, it's something like that, Joe's getting for $2,000 in 1 month. He can't, okay, that's $1,000, but like that $700 purchase without having to call Brian and tying up Brian, he can just go for that paper. And we still see it all itemized, we see it Joe bought, he can't just go buy it only at the store and, you know, have it up with the.
Is that amount enough?
I mean, I'm looking at current operations standpoint, and from the operations in terms of, that would cover whatever we spend, and I feel like Brian and I can work together on anything that would exceed that for sure, too.
Yeah, any other questions or concerns? That's pretty, okay, so all in favor?
Yeah, and then just for the board's peace of mind, these items that are approved in between meetings come in for ratification, so you'll have one more opportunity to see it and motion on it. All right? All right, so I had a motion from Bobby, I had a second from Debbie. All in favor, taking my final vote?
Thank you.
Opposed, motion carries 4-0. Very good. We will work with district council on this. MDC 2. All right, bear with me. We're finalize. All right. Moving on. We have, behind tab 3, you have your aquatic maintenance reports. So let's take a look behind tab 3. I was notating, you know, just looking from some of these aerials, may be beneficial to reach out to the aquatic vendors. I don't know if it's algae growth that I'm seeing on these photos or is Steadfast on the phone? Anybody?
Well, we said it was, Karen, do you have any thoughts on the ponds?
Do I have thoughts on the comments?
How's the time?
So I was, well, I was out with Yellowstone and Pete.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
So it's pretty appalling.
And people pay really steep premiums for their lots and for their homes to back up to these ponds. And what they're looking at are just fields and algae.
Okay.
Not trash.
And that's why I was, trying to clarify that from the aerials, it looks like some serious algae growth, potentially hydrilla, which is a super invasive plant. Not sure where the board stands with, have we reached out? Have we been communicating?
Good board. We can stop this.
So I'd like to hear what their recommendation is.
They're not.
And they're thinking this is the third month in a row that they're no show.
Okay,
Now, I understand. Didn't we vote on, on keeping them here? As they're.
Maybe since I've been on the board, it's maybe January.
Where's that's all on next, so they're not here.
They haven't been here.
Issue there, can you work with Karen and Steadfast?
Sure.
And let's get that resolved so that they are here.
okay.
There's maybe a way we can do it more efficiently, so they don't have to wait through 4-hour meetings to be able to give an update, or they give updates to Karen.
Sounds like all the reports are gonna go on the front end.
I believe they were coming to the meetings, and then I think what happened was that over time, as they get pushed down the line, and that 4-hour week, they tired of leaving us and move on to other things.
If we can, I know it's really difficult as a board because, things come up and everything else, but if we can try to, as a courtesy to out of respect to our vendors' time, to try to give them an actual time slot.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're in the middle of something else or something's running long, then we have to recognize that it's running long and say, you know what, we're gonna need to table this to the end of the meeting. Okay, but we've got to, and especially something like aquatics, these things and landscaping, these things can be really handled at the front end. It takes very little time to just kind of concisely say, yay, nay, review the proposals and be done with it, let them go on their day. I don't know why, but there should at least be communication. I understand we're in a transitional phase, but I don't.
You don't have emails, so that's why. I would say, Karen, if you can work with Steadfast and keep Brian in the loop, let's figure out what we need to do, figure out what has to be done, and then by next board meeting, we have some options to make it happen.
Yep.
If in your communications with them, if you can ask them what their suggestions for remediating this is, what are our options? One thing we were discussing was stocking the ponds with koi, which
Mhm.
will, alleviate
Yep.
a lot of the issues that we have. And, they'll make the algae go away.
Yeah.
Sort of way. The erosion of those ponds, they can't control the weather and whether we have rain, but we did see a lot of debris that I recognized from a year ago.
Okay.
That has never been cleaned up. And as I understand, part of their proposal, which made them stand out from the others, is that it did include
Right.
cleanup. And it's not happening. So we either need to know that they're gonna do this stuff, take care of this stuff, provide suggestions for what's not already in their purview, in their scope of services, and give us some options. Or let's take this back to the table.
Understood.
The next one, Karen, you figure out ways that you get them on the path that they need to be on, and if there's next one.
Yes.
Understood. Okay.
There is
Landscape.
Landscape, perfect.
Yeah.
One thing segues right into the other. So let's stay with the ponds because we have a lot of erosion going on around these ponds. And then we have silt and things like that running into the pond, which is creating another big issue. So we have to figure out how to stop that erosion. And one way to stop the erosion is to seed it. Now, we can seed it with, with Bahia and we discussed that. We also discussed seeding it with wildflower seeds like Lady Bird Johnson did it back in the 60s on the freeways in Texas. And it was incredibly successful and it's beautiful. And it will stop the erosion. And that's more likely to take off without having to worry about mowing it, because you don't mow flowers. So it requires a whole lot less maintenance, which was back in the day. So we don't have to keep reinventing the wheel. We don't have to keep seeding and planting things that we just have to maintain, and maybe it's gonna take and maybe it's not. But we do have to stop that erosion. There is a section behind Oakbourne Avenue that we looked at where it doesn't back up to conservation like so many of our other ponds. It backs up to another subdivision. And that subdivision is a primary residential subdivision, which to itself is an eyesore. They have a chain link fence, that's it. But the problem is they seem to feel entitled to take their palm fronds, cuttings, throw it over the fence, which feeds our algae issues and all kinds of other issues. And it's become like a dumping ground. So we need to stop that. And one way to stop that, to also help mitigate the erosion that's taking place there, is to, and you know, we've been talking about the propping bamboo because it doesn't run, and where you put it is where it stays. But this is one place where we were saying, you know what, let it run.
Yeah.
Let's plant bamboo. Universal uses it, Disney uses it.
Yeah, we saw the type of moving 5 days ago. In Meredith, this is that neighborhood back there that made the big issue about the vines on the fence, that they wanted us to go out and remove all this, but yet their, you know, property owners are illegally dumping their yard waste.
We could put their HOA on notice.
We absolutely.
Well, you put
Yeah.
an 8 foot, you put an 8 foot or 12 foot bamboo run out there, they're not gonna be throwing the things through it. They're not gonna get it through.
I see what you're saying.
So, and that ends it once and for all. They can't tell us what we can and can't do on our side of the fence. And this way we put up,
Can you guys provide a proposal for bamboos? And do you have the square footage that you would need?
Yeah, we drove it with them. Just in case you all need to put a random to see what it would look like there, and it's very straightforward, but easy to put together.
Okay,
Does go forward, we check with the president of HOA and say, here's what we're looking at doing before we.
you could. It would be at your discretion. It would be, you wouldn't have to because you're planning on your property, but as a courtesy, absolutely. Okay,
She's not.
okay.
For the back up to that, to have a bamboo screen instead of some of those yards that are a little rough looking in the back.
speaking of rough looking,
Well, is there, are these things that we're voting on, or is these just discussion?
This is. So we're, exactly.
What's that, for up there?
okay, so we have a lot of things on the table now. Understand, I know that. I know that we're not gonna do everything everywhere all at once. We're not gonna do everything everywhere all at once, but I believe that you have to have a plan. And then you implement that plan over time as we can do so financially, as it makes sense in terms of scheduling and everything else and maintenance. But so what we discussed was a long-term plan, a thing that we overall, that I would like to see proposals on the table that we can vote on.
Mm-hmm.
And we can decide what we want to do moving forward, and then we can decide how we fund it. You know, what makes sense, what makes sense and everything else. So here are the things that we reviewed that I'd like to ask for proposals on. So we have a lot of homes that back up to Solterra Boulevard. And some of them, and I think when you drive into the community, that's the first thing that people see as they're driving down the road. That's a really amazing first impression, right? However, some of these houses, like the first two, as you're driving in, are open to the road and people are hanging their underwear out there to drive. They're like these 14-bedroom homes. You see this, you know what I'm talking about, right? And that's their first greeting. They get their car passes and they're driving by and they're like, okay. Yeah. And because they're such large homes, they tend to be party houses. So people kind of get the impression, oh, okay, we can have parties here. So I think that, and also for the homeowners, one of them, back up to back up to that main road, to Solterra Boulevard. You know, there are a lot of cars without mufflers, which is against the law, by the way, but very difficult to enforce. There are a lot of slingshots and loud vehicles and stuff like that going by. It might be nice just to create a landscape where there are landscape barriers.
Like hedges, like tall hedges.
Either, well, tall hedges take time to grow. There are certain things, again, the clumping bamboo for that, at least for that very front area. We have to be wary of our corners where people are coming out, making a right or a left. We can't impede their view.
Right. Line of sight.
So honestly, it really doesn't help me. I'm not saying because I'm on a corner. So I can't benefit by what I'm proposing, but the people who are on the straightaways and on the sides, they really should have a modicum of privacy for their homes. And,
Patties are really easy. In proposal forms.
well, that's what we're asking.
And so what I would ask for the next one is just have a discussion before, let's get the proposals, you give us.
Yeah.
Super important, middle important, low important, yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna be on property next Tuesday. If you guys are available, okay. So if you guys are available after 1, let's all get together. Let's ride through the property. We'll notate the options for the hedges, for the barriers. We'll notate the options for the erosion control, the bamboo, and any other deficiencies that we could then bring to September's meeting.
Well, there are two things that I'm going on today. One involves you as amenities. And that has to do with the pots and landscaping around the floor. So we have 2 different vendors who have, I visited one of the vendors with Deanna, and I visited another one of the vendors with Vicky and with Helena, Yellowstone's designer, a landscape designer. And either one of these groups of pots would work beautifully. They're both in the blue family, lending some reference to the terracotta feeling that we have here in the clubhouse. But I think that it will, for a very little amount of money, will have a lot of
But we don't have a proposal showing the 2 different types of pots in front of us.
I
With comps. Do we have that?
you have.
It was on the last month's agenda. We didn't see anything on this one. It was tabled, but it wasn't here.
So we tabled this, Yellowstone had agreed that they would go and purchase the parts. Whether, I believe Karen was gonna take point on that, purchase the parts on our behalf and bill us for the parts. But I
Okay,
know
so
that
it
was
exceeds, the amount exceeds the $4,000. It's the number on for 12 pots. And that would be 2 in the front entrance as you come in, instead of being greeted by garbage cans. You'd be greeted by a couple of really nice, tall, sturdy pots with that blue feeling in them. And then you come in and here, there are 4 areas that are kind of little peninsulas that stick out into the pool area. And here,
2 more down by the 0 entry.
correct, 2 by the 0 entry, and then 2 by the cabanas where there are currently little cutouts and just these little, I don't know what they are, bird paradise.
There were trees there at one point, and really,
Right.
yeah, it's big.
And then 2 by the bathroom. So no matter which proposal we go with the 2 different potting companies that that we selected as having really nice options. They're both gonna run us just shy of $5,000.
Okay, not to exceed of 5,000.
So
That doesn't include the plants.
it doesn't include the plants and the labor, and just for the top here, the costs.
Can I ask, can we double check, the options on that once we have these two?
Yeah, you know, maybe that concern is, going right to the factory,
What that might look like for pricing, but I'm okay approving them not to see 5,000. As long as we look into that.
Do we have an estimate on what the actual plants and labor are, so that we can kind of tackle everything at once? Say, what's your policy?
Yeah, we were discussing with Steve, I think, the proposal for the labor and the plants and the potting soil and irrigation, on some of the pots that
We're not adding any irrigation.
some of the pots,
But we have water.
we have the big hand farm. Well, some of them you can, and some of them you can't add irrigation.
If you just want to hand water them all, that's fine. We're just saying there are areas where irrigation could be added, and you would not have to hand water.
We're gonna hand water, because it's already been discussed when you're going to pond, daily. Yeah. Like 450 per,
Per plant?
per area. See, I have done proposals for the size.
6 areas altogether?
There's 6 or 12.
It's 12 bucks.
Well, that's if you're.
Can we do this for the sake of time? I know we want to keep moving. When we wrap this all into something we vote on next month,
September.
we have additional pricing
Where
options.
we're just getting the pots. This much is getting the pots.
Yeah, just get the box and then come back.
I'll second Karen.
Good, we would just have to look up, the material. All right, so we had a motion from Karen, we had a second from Bobby, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion everybody voted?
Yep.
Yep, okay. Motion carries not to exceed 5,000.
One time was probably just manage the bamboo, I know the bamboo has a thing that people go all over the board. So you get that items, you know, it's separate phase, right? I mean, it's not, you definitely want to pick
Varieties that are not saying, and they're not all, there's much, some state areas, right? Varieties that are just a full trade room. So we would make sure you pick the correct varieties that are not as,
Okay,
yeah.
any,
So are we voting are we also voting to, we need to get a proposal on the bamboo for that? Oh,
Yeah, we need to bring back the chocolates for that.
Okay,
you wouldn't need a vote for that, you just give them direction, then they'll give us the bid that we can consider in September.
We'll meet with you guys if you want to be here again.
If you're available. Sure,
Yeah, we'll work, and definitely for next meeting, we'll have everything that's been requested.
yeah, I wanna see the property so we could make some suggestions to the board and see where we're at with the landscaping.
There's Solterra trees. We're gonna be looking at all those areas, and take advantage of Alina's being here, you know.
Is that your, architect? Oh, okay, okay, nice, okay. Nice. Okay, next Tuesday.
not the entrance on the outside. Yeah, the entrance on the outside is CDD.
okay, so Tuesday for me,
1 PM.
1 PM, so long as it doesn't go past 2 o'clock.
I think we should be able to cover it in an hour. You guys got a gator?
Yeah.
We were driving around, save some time. Okay. All right.
That the one I said now is the department already is budget. Okay, the $5,000 we just approved, the department already, they're getting budget.
Yes. Yeah, you have 69,000, I believe, under, landscape property contingency, 64,000. You've only utilized, I want to say it was like 1,800 when I looked. So it is within your budget. I know this, line item was not utilized yet. Landscape contingency, year to date, as of May's financials, you spent $1,400. So you do have it, at your disposal for landscape enhancement projects. Okay. All right. There are no further comments for landscape.
Can I make a couple?
Absolutely.
Okay. Let's see. But our drive with Karen was fantastic. So we spent about 2.5 hours actually looking at the property. We drove all over the place and we figured out some key areas around the property where we feel like we're being underutilized in different park areas. There should be a seating area here, something special here with a tree or a walking path that kind of encourages folks to use these parks that are just randomly unutilized throughout the community. So we've got some good ideas there. That's where our designer is going to come into play. And Karen was fantastic, just coming up with good ideas. And I think between Karen, our designer, Vicky, like we'll be able to bring back some fun stuff to build in that regard.
And also very affordable.
Nice.
Big bang for the buck.
Yeah. And like Karen had mentioned, there are some retention pond areas. There are some retention pond areas that just, whenever they put down the hay, if they did during development, I don't even know if they did, maybe they just let the weeds come in. They're very bare and they're eyesores for folks to look at out off their back patio areas. So we will be looking at options of either hydro seeding some areas that are really visible or doing wildflower seeds.
Okay.
With wildflowers, we would let them grow a little bit and then you knock them down. So we can go crazy with snakes and alligators, that's what our concerns with residents.
But then also teach the people practically getting to the edge of the line. While you guys are out on Tuesday, I would like for you all to look at that gravel path that goes from Oak Moss to the boulevard.
Yeah.
Down near the springs, because that is gone awful. It just looks like, some 10-year-olds dug it up and put some freaking strips in there. It needs to be something.
Revamped.
Whether it's paper, yes, an opportunity to put some fences there perhaps and something as well. Consider that.
It just doesn't look that clean.
No, it looks absolutely.
Previously suggested trees there.
Twice.
I also said submit those proposals. Some of them I have submitted on previous board. We're talking about shrubs that are missing for some of the areas behind homes along the boulevard. I had put together proposals that were just never went anywhere. So I'll submit those, obviously revised. Yeah.
For consistency's sake and also for manageability, we're looking at basically creating a palette of plant matter.
Yep.
So that we're consistent throughout the community with the colors, the types of plants. Alamanda is a great one. We can't really use Alamanda poolside. Those are those vibrant yellow flowers. Every day you get a whole thing of flowers, but then they also shed every single day. So everybody will be right.
And you can't kill them.
Exoras are pretty common on pool grounds. Palmettos, I've seen palmettos. Water. Jasmine's good. Yeah.
Jasmine. Olfactory, so there are all kinds of different senses that people will engage, like we were talking about putting jasmine over by the cabana. People will sit there and will be like, oh, yeah, let's do this again tomorrow. So, because that whole thing, but we want to make sure that we are using the same types of plants throughout the community.
Yes,
so that there's
uniformity.
consistency.
Yes.
Some of the things
Let me just say, she's saying fantastic. Wish you guys would hammer this out and we could come in and just vote on stuff.
He wants us to put the project together. Yeah, yeah.
Brian and I want to keep things moving. We're at a 3-hour limit that we're looking to stay here.
Okay.
So whatever you guys need, just Brian,
So the one more thing with the importance to the community, we are coming up on heavy mulch season. Vendors get very busy during the holidays, so we like to get mulch on the agenda, on the schedule, or else you guys are gonna miss that holiday window.
Get us a proposal.
What
So
we
had
discussed,
proposed it last month, that it was $61,980.
we discussed
Alternatives.
we discussed changing out, instead of the mulch that we have, the bark.
Pine bark?
The pine bark looks beautiful, it's very expensive, and it floats away.
I hate pine bark.
The bark that we have right now, very ugly, it disappears, it turns into like sand and ugliness very quickly. It's not, I think everybody in the community pretty much complained about it from day one. The other option that we discussed was pine needle. And the pine needle is the pine straw. You see it in all, Disney uses pine straw, again, Universal, the Union, a lot of these communities use pine straw heavily. It is beautiful, the color, it's soft underfoot, and it's half the price. Now, it's half the price including installation, which means if we want to do a second refresh, we'll end up with the same budget, but we'll have 2 refreshes a year instead of 1 refresh, and we don't have to deal with this. You know, we'll always have something that looks fresh and lush and beautiful, and the color is really.
What do we have right now? Shredded hardwood? The chocolate mold? Oh, wow, that's usually a fan favorite.
I know, there's mixed opinions on it.
Sure. No, it's true.
If you look at it,
The thing with the pine straws, isn't there a negative factor? I think it doesn't decompose.
Does decompose faster, that's why they recommend doing 2 apples.
Okay.
Basically, under the same budget of a one-time reuse chocolate mold, you could cost doing 2 applications of pine straw. So you do get that touch-up 6 months down the road. We'd have to, look at those costs and bring that back to the board the next time. If it makes sense, it makes sense. You guys are like, thumbs up, great. If not, then we stick with the chocolate.
Okay.
It's better than the pine bark.
Your call, Karen.
it's better, but we look at this right here, right outside this window.
Pine straw is gonna float too, though, in an area where we get a heavy rain, it's just, there will be some floating.
Can you just bring both and we can kind of just look at it and
Yeah.
we don't need to kind of wait for it to now.
Like you were saying.
I think we'll be okay. I just wanna make sure it's on the top of everyone's brain.
Yeah.
That we have that there and we actually get this accomplished next time and, cause it gets tight.
I understand. I'm very heavily leaning towards the pine straw, just because I've seen it in many other communities. It's very upscale.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, and
And some folks keep a couple bales of pine straw on hand.
To sprinkle.
If you needed maintenance people here, hey, get a little touch-up area that can be done, or you can have us do it, you can keep some bales on hand.
Sure.
And wash everything.
All right, we will work on this on Tuesday. We'll put all this on a bow and a ribbon and make a big presentation on September.
Right.
Okay. All right. Very good. All right. Board wonderful.
Funny day.
Nice.
I just need approval, like,
I thought we approved that already.
also, I can use the same approval for quarterly service.
We.
Is it-
approved
Is it in your scope?
But that was for May, this is for
It's
August.
every 3 months.
It's cool.
Then we should have had a proposal, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I did send the proposal, I just didn't know, new management company, I had no contacts and,
This is just fertilization for the health of the tree.
yeah, and, infection,
Just for $750.
700.
Board, I would recommend approval. It's standard for landscape maintenance.
He should already have it, because I forwarded as soon as they always home, gave me some information.
Tom Jackson for $750.
Motion from Bobby. I had a second from Karen. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. I will work with Yellowstone on that.
Something we could do is do an addendum.
Yes.
The agreement would benefit from a refresh significantly, so that would be something the board might be interested in.
I feel like it's on time and.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's an inherited contract. We didn't write it.
Gotcha. I will work on this and, work on potentially a new scope revision.
Yeah.
Okay. I got some good scopes. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Looking forward to seeing you on Tuesday. All right, board, keeping it rolling here. You have your consideration of minutes from the meeting held on July 11th. Behind tab 4. Go ahead and take a second to review those and let me know if you have any revision requests.
Oh, this.
Line 23.
My thing is more.
This wasn't us, by the way. 23. Revision. Well, grammatical errors are common, unfortunately. Line 23, revision on names, spelling. Anything else? We're seeing.
Is it on?
This is tab 4. Tab 4.
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from the
July 11th meeting.
July 11th meeting.
Very good. I have a motion from Deb. Do I have a second to that motion?
I'll second, but number 24 is those,
So, I am taking a motion to approve minutes from July 11th and 2025 in substantial form, making the needed corrections that the board has notated. Substantial, all in favor? Oppose? Motion carries. Bear with me. All right, line 24 revision as well.
Diane Bradford, BRASWELL.
Should be.
And 23 should be Bob Moreland, LRELA.
Can you spell Diane again for me, the last name? B. And the other name? MLY. Uh-huh, gotcha. Copy that. All right, we will make those revisions. Very good. Board, on item 6, you have on tab 5, your ratification of district items for review. I believe these were all the documents that were just discussed at the last meeting. I believe the board wanted to look at this, so be open to any questions.
Motion for resolution 2025 against this.
So just for clarification, we're gonna be, these have already been approved and reviewed.
It's just for board information.
Oh, okay.
You'd be looking for a motion to ratify items 1 through 5.
I'll motion to ratify and approve 5.
All right, motion from Bobby. Do you have a second to that motion? Second from Karen. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Bear with me. All right.
To repair part of the sidewalk or building. Solterra Boulevard in Oakmore for like $800. I don't know what the heck it was, but it's still not been repaired.
2 meetings ago. I'd have to,
And somebody will have to, look, I'll see if I can go back and find it, but we ratified it, it should have been done, right?
Ratification means the work should have already been done and the board was just ratifying the
That's
extended
why,
already. It was the June 6th meeting. Exhibit 23 in the agenda.
Goes on it. Okay. Moving on to business item B, you have discussion of gym hours of operation. One of our board members had stated that there was an opportunity to expand the gym hours to 24 hours.
So this is something that was very vocal about from the beginning, being with totally against it. I can't find any more reason to why you can't have 24/7. I can speak to her, she's gonna have, I believe Joe checked the operation licenses to make sure that's being prepared. Joe's more than willing to open it 24/7, as long as it falls within the law, which I believe it does.
Only for homeowners with key cards.
It would be for any amenity user.
That's fine.
I didn't look into the legalities.
But
True. So, yeah, And some homeowners have asked for that, actually.
Mhm.
And the rationale that we got was that it's because somebody could go through that door and open the pool. Well, they can do that at 4 AM, just as well as they can do it at 2 AM.
Our office has not looked into the legalities of that because the board has not directed us to. Prior amenity management looked into it and provided recommendations. Current amenity management, I think, is looking for board direction.
Second that.
All right, so board has given direction. We will work with the GM.
Violation.
So GM review permit.
Understand whether it's calling us or calling the police, it's actually a fee for you guys as well. So make sure you guys really look into that or put some kind of signage because.
It's already.
Yeah, but at that point, if they open, whether or not they're opening, because, yeah, you don't come, you don't come.
That's true. You could,
So that can happen just as much at 4 AM as it can happen at 2 AM or 3 AM.
It's not- it's just something to make sure that you guys have in consideration.
consideration.
Yeah, I didn't know about that when we did this, and I mean, we have 3 floors to build a home, and, you know, they have.
Right, yeah, we should be able to track down whomever and then hit them with a bill.
Suspend.
Until we
Uh,
get a different amendment, yeah, it's fine, and.
not fine, but you could suspend the privileges until they pay.
Assess the.
Yeah, yeah. So we have direction, we'll work with Joe, and we'll present that for consideration at the next meeting. Any other questions on this item? Any other comments? Hearing none? Okay. Moving on to item C, you have your consideration of audit service engagement letter behind tab 6. It's my understanding that you went out to RFP, you have awarded, DeBartholomew McBee for your, services. Looks like your services are actually going down per your, I believe you're budgeted 4,000 for this and your first year is gonna be roughly 3,100. Bear with me. Yeah, the first year is gonna be not to exceed 2,950 for year ending 2025. So for financial audit on your budget,
Or $2,950.
$2,950. No, well, yes, auditing services, yeah, so your budget, your proposed 4,000, but it's actually 2,950, so you could trim that down. I'd be looking for a motion to. Very good, have a motion from Bobby. Had a second from Deb, all in favor?
Being interested in what these expenses are in relation to the budget, because this is actually newish for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Bear with me. All right. Very good. Moving on to your consideration of resolution 2025-21, meeting schedule. All right, as presented.
Well, and this is your notice of fiscal year 26 meeting and notice. We do need to update the contact information in this for your new district management company. Savannah had sent this over months ago, so it was a carryover. But we will make sure that that happens. This is not advertising your town halls. So if there are town hall dates that you would like added to this schedule, please let us know. Those are not included in this because we don't know fiscal year 26 town halls. we can advertise them in bulk anytime before the fiscal year starts, October 1. So we could do it in September.
What is your position on, does the board have to advertise before every meeting, or does the one solicitation cover?
We write it so that the one covers. And
Nice.
for their regular meeting schedules, we also simultaneously advertise those as security shade sessions. So that at the board's option, they can always have a security shade session every regular meeting.
Nice, okay. That's a good thing. All right, so we had a motion from Bobby. Do I have a second? The motion, second from Brian. To approve the resolution 2025-21 in substantial form with the notated corrections. Substantial. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, board. Let me write this. Let's see. Revise. All right, very good. Include town hall. Include town hall dates. All right, moving on to your public hearing. Do you like to take one motion to open both categories, or you want to close and open?
Close and open
Okay.
because of the potential.
Gotcha. Okay. Take a motion to open the public hearing.
I'm open for public hearing.
Had a motion from Bobby. I had a second from Karen. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Do we have any public comments on the budget today? Hearing none, I'm gonna take a motion to close the public hearing. A motion from Bobby. Was that Sam? Second from Sam. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. All right, let's get into the budget. Do you want me to cover the budget before the resolution? Okay.
So I got a question.
There should be some prints out for you guys. Yeah. So, yeah, let's look at the budget. I know the board's goal is to, not have an increase this year. So a couple of line items, I plugged in, unfortunately, we haven't gotten your financials yet. So I took your May financial statements and created a comparison. Spoke with council. I think with the new, management and staff, the 90,000 that was proposed could come down to 60. So you'll be saving 30 out of that 90,000 there. And now we got to go through, some additional line items and see some potential for some cost savings. So your utilities, so your gas and electric, for electricity as of May, you are running at $176,814. You are proposing to bring electricity down to 130, which would exceed what you were trending. Be my recommendation to at least keep you to trend. And I mean, mind you, this is as of May. You figure if you take 176 divided by.
Communication budget going from 5,100 to 17,300.
Which line item? 39. That's a good question. That's something I also saw. So, yeah, year to date, you've spent, well, as of May, you spent $3,095 on that line. I don't know why they brought you to that. Now, granted, there's another line item that says phone and internet clubhouse, and that's at 8,400. So I think they were trying to consolidate the two lines that essentially are doing the same thing. Which would bring you to roughly, yeah, maybe that's 17. Looks like they're.
12,000.
Yeah, they consolidated, Jim, which is not a bad idea. Yeah.
So 3,000 lines from the bulk spectrum account. That will take care of both internet lines here and then front gate.
And so then, why did we have no budget for reclaimed water, and now we have a $90,000 budget for reclaimed water?
That's been several, so communications, you're saying HOA is gonna cover the cost of that 17,000?
So your comp lines are implemented, the comp lines are completely free, they're from the they're from the bulk, from us, so we'll come in, we'll have you from Charter Spectrum come in and they're just gonna swap your lines out. You get rid of your business lines altogether, so you won't have those monthly, costs, so it'll be free for that.
And we're happy with it?
Yeah, that's really good.
I don't know what that, yeah, I don't know what it'll do, but again, we're gonna run voice over IP for your phones.
Okay.
And we're gonna be doing it, obviously, with replacing your internet lines through your comp lines, you're not gonna have anything in terms of monthly on that for front gate and clubhouse office, so whatever that comes out to. We give you whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, the revenue point, line item 4, right?
Okay,
2024, 652, 2025, 977, and proposed is 650. Do you know why they brought it down?
resort usage fee, cafe lease revenue, cabana programming. So this is a source of revenue. So this would mean that you're probably, this is what you're estimated to be bringing in the next fiscal year.
No, that's not going to see that. Suppose you're doing all orders.
Because in the previous budgets, that's what over estimated.
Correct.
Because our states,
So,
because that was the adopted budget, was $977,000. The reality is that we weren't trending almost $1 million or management fees.
yeah, so as of May's financials, year to date on that line, you had $381,082. So it looks like they multiplied that by almost 2 to get you to that. So yeah, to her point. Yes, correct. So they use your actuals to estimate, okay, forecasting, if I'm at this 7 months into the year, by the end of the year, I should be at this. So it looks like they overestimated a lot in 2025. Yeah,
Two.
okay. Okay,
We've had nothing budgeted, and now we have 155,000. So what's happened with Duke and the streetlights?
right, so that's, and let's talk about specifically utilities, because utilities is one of those things that will make or break you in a budget year. So right now, you, for electricity, which would be your streetlights, you are trending 176,000. You proposed the 130, this 155, I believe, goes in conjunction because I don't have a street light line item separately. So the only thing I see for electricity on the financials that have been provided is the 174. So if you take the I do think they split it out, which also is pretty common. I like to keep it under one umbrella for electricity, but you figure, yeah, if you see line 41, they subtracted 161 and they basically created a new line item for 155.
Yeah.
And water.
Yes. Yeah, let's look at reclaimed water. So reclaimed water year to date as of May 31, you had an expense of $164,227. So you figure that should be your irrigation throughout the property. So you figure let's even it out. You divide it by 7. So you're roughly charging $23,000, 428 monthly. So if you multiply that by the remaining months, which is 4. times 4, looks like you would finish with an additional 93,000, putting you at roughly $250,000. And you are proposing 160. So the, oh, plus 90, nice, okay, yeah.
Same situation, like you can see.
Looks like they split it out. Yep, that's exactly what they did. So they took my calculation, divided it by the month, what you were trending. Now, I will say irrigation is controllable. So throughout the year, if me and Karen are doing our jobs correctly with the vendor, we should be able to bring usage down.
Yeah, we had a lot of irrigation issues throughout the resort last year on both the CDD side and the HOA side.
Control the back. So I'm just got one another minute. Got it home. And all the springs, right?
Okay.
We don't have rain sensors?
Have this down on the front zone. I looked at each turn the active rain section push.
Okay,
Yeah, it's very budget, pretty much remain the same. I don't know.
Lifestyles.
so yeah, and gas, last on utilities. Gas as of May, and this could have gone somewhere else into the budget, but gas, you're reported to be spending $6,654. You're budgeted 80,000 for it. So, well, your proposed 80,000. So, what was that?
So then they put all one, like 70,000,
Well, you figure, I mean, if you've only spent $6,000 by May, for the, up until May, so you figure 7 months, 6,000 and some change, and then you're budgeting 80,000. I mean, even if you triple that number, you're at what, 18,000. I don't know why they put 80,000. Well, now here is the reality. You set a not to exceed amount of 90,000 increase. But the difficulty is now that we're inheriting food and beverage, there may be a case where you want to keep this to have some wiggle room. So, I think we can allocate, knowing that the budget's been approved, I think we could allocate certain numbers to ensure that we're not blowing our utility budgets and landscape, but please.
Yeah.
That's the best case.
You know, the things that are vastly different, that we can.
Let's keep going, yeah. Yeah. No, I love going through budgets, so, open to comments. What are we seeing? Anything else sticking out?
So, you know what line number 76 is, facility R&M buildings and recreation, that we have $22,000 budgeted for, that we haven't had anything prior?
Facilities and recreation. Facilities, that's fitness equipment.
R&M means
What's the budgeted amount? Was this,
a repair and maintenance, 22.
this was never budgeted for, so this was created. This was created, I could not tell you why.
The comments in the proposed budget, the backup says structural maintenance and repairs for all district-owned buildings and other exterior recreational amenities such as tennis, pickleball courts, sand volleyball court, playground, including supplies and vendor services.
Nice. So I know we had plans to do some enhancements, that's most likely what that is.
Did we get roof fixed, by the way? Did they get fixed? Okay. Sorry.
No, please.
Roof, you know.
Keep going.
Just so that we would lifestyle, right? 20,000 added to only this year. And also expensive.
Well, I mean, I already know what that is because previously all of the staff was combined in one category for salaries, lifestyle, was separated out previously, and I think that this is just a reflection that the lifestyle is being captured in a separate GL account.
Yeah, previously, when the investor, we have to just took it out of the general operating account to use their credit cards to buy supplies to purchase like $200 capital to get a deductions or whatever they're buying. And now they want to actually separate so that we know they have to do it.
Or, yeah, it's just from into another project, and we couldn't differentiate.
Yeah.
Yeah, you heavily utilized your contingency. It looks like they were throwing a lot into the contingency under facility maintenance. You have 45,000 allocated in there as of May.
Hold it. That's fine. It's on that should not.
Sure.
Wow.
No, yeah.
We just, going back on that, there is a special sensitivity, which is what. Obviously, about.
And there's that.
Which line item, Sam? The first one.
That, or whatever.
From our taxes.
Correct. So what's happening, line items 1 through 8 are a revenue source. So because the line item 1 is the total number that you're actually gonna be collecting. But because,
Which is basically someone else paying for it, we are paying for it, so that's why I'm just.
Yeah. Special, and this is actually during budget season, this is very common. Special assessments aren't like a HOA special assessment where you're getting assessed separately. The CDD's assessments are called special assessments. It's just our revenue source. Does that answer the question?
Based on the size of our lots.
It's your operations and maintenance assessments, which is the,
Your bond service.
and then debt service in combination. Yes, sir.
And then your O&Ms.
And your operations and maintenance, and Brian, correct me if I'm wrong, are not allocated, it's a 1-to-1, so all units, all houses are assessed equally for your operations and maintenance annual costs, I think, but I'm not your, I think, but don't quote me on that, I'm not your accountant.
It just depends on the way that the community was established. Some communities, depending on lot size, might have different O&M breakdowns. So, yeah, but to Meredith's point, it's established in, the creation of your district and how a resident could benefit from the amenities based on lot size.
Your O&M is, 1 ERU factor for all.
It's uniformed?
Mhm.
Nice.
I'm looking at back here, but the
Nice.
debt service does vary based on which series of debt has been allocated to your lot. And then by lot type within that.
Keep hitting me. What do we got?
Capital improvement goes up.
Yeah, that's a great question. I was looking for some recommendations on that one. I know you were talking about potentially expanding the guardhouse and the road.
Talked about building new things, and that's probably why I put in there a spot fence,
Well,
grass around the.
Based on reserve study.
Oh, based on the reserve study. Okay, they don't have a reserve, do they?
extra money because we was gonna be saving us some money operationally. We had all decided to put that money into the capital improvement.
Well, there's a party, yeah, 1.3.
Yeah.
So it's 200. Who can I get? This is an addition. It's 200 water, so it's 250 more, but it does give us a lot, if we hold that there, gives us a lot of room to build.
Your business.
But we also need to think about the reserve survey.
So
That survey that.
that's what this number is. The explanation in the back here says that that line is because the reserve study suggests that 347,000 will be needed for improvements by the end of fiscal year 26, which is what we're considering. This would be the budget of 13,300 for deck furniture per the reserve study, 35,882 for redoing the slide potentially for the reserve study, 125,000 to refresh your gym and gym equipment, as well as 8,800 for pool lighting upgrades.
What about the playground?
That's, I'm just reading what your prior folks wrote. This is not my words.
Yeah, so that's what I remember, we did that.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, capital improvements. I know we want to work on a lot of projects, so having that as a placeholder would not hurt. Again, being a year together, we could always bring this down. Like,
The reserve study suggested 347,000 for the fiscal year. It looks like the line is 453,000. I think it's forget. So
if you're generating a bunch of revenue, you could start bringing it down. Yeah. Yes. Transition. Huh?
in Savannah.
Oh. Keep hitting me. What do we got? What are we seeing?
She does all your contracts. Very good.
Really.
Yeah, talk about, we gotta put markets and be secure, every balance. That's what we try to.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same, the bottom line budget hasn't changed, it's just here, took some of the excesses and
Correct.
to the capital improvements, which we knew were coming based on the reserve studies.
That's correct.
Then we based on the reserve study, and there it is.
Mm-hmm. Now, you are proposing a $90,000 increase year over year, 90,406. That's the not to exceed amount that you set at your proposed budget. So there is a slight increase year over year. You're looking at line item 9. You'll see that is the number in totality. That's it. They did a very good job balancing. I will say that it looks like they took into account some actuals. I have no-
The improvements that were made will also lend itself towards generating additional revenue to cover some of this. Right.
Subsequently increase logically rates better.
And I think that with some of the things that we're looking to do, at least some of the things that I'm looking to do in terms of landscaping, even though there's a cost on the front end of it, that on the back end, it'll be less expensive to maintain, not as much replacement of plant matter.
Like wild, right, yeah, and the bamboo between Sunbridge Woods and here. I really like those ideas.
Yeah,
And so.
Insight, can you have them check if the settings on the front key things, there's a couple of them missing, so I will not worry about it. Thank you.
okay.
Sorry about that.
Not at all. That's what we're here for.
I don't know, I believe it's not yet, but what can fix it's on the
Open to further comments. If not, we would be looking for a motion to consider resolution 2025-22, adopting your fiscal year 25-26. Council, anything to add?
Just to clarify for the record, the budget remains unchanged from what is presented in the agenda.
Final?
Yes, sir.
One.
This is it. This is it.
So this would be the $90,000 increase from fiscal year 25.
Yeah, it's the first class figure, yeah.
This is it, yeah.
So I mean, my thought was, I talked to Brian. We get all the presidents, I've seen that, we have 1 year of actually just.
Some of the guidelines about like for example, about 5.
It's not much. So, I mean, it would still be an increase over last year. Would that, in the eyes of the homeowners, like, hey, it stopped going up, which it's gone up pretty heavily in the last 3 years. Is that important, or do we just keep going up a little bit?
Resolution 2025.
Motion from Bobby.
Okay, you're, it's always understood that, everybody, everything goes up year over year. I mean, unless we're in a massive recession, and prices are going down, price of everything is gonna go up, price of maintenance is going up. I don't think, what is it, did you say $5 for a nickel? $10 a house, whatever, that's not, I think that's extraordinarily reasonable, especially given all of the turnover and all of the change that we've had. But I also think that it doesn't include a lot of savings that I'm hoping that we have, and a lot of, possibility for revenue that I'm sure going forward over the next year, we all have great ideas of ways to generate revenue. We've got an amazing asset here. And to take this asset and to maximize the potential, we're taking over the reservoir. I mean, exactly. I think that what this board is looking to do, we have to go over the reality of inflation being what it is, of cost of labor and everything else going up. It is what it is. But the absolute beauty of this is that what is not in this budget is all the potential and the drive forward and momentum that we have in increasing and driving revenues. And between now and the end of the year, this is what we're living with, but by the end of the year, we're gonna
We may be able to turn it around and kind of point the arrow in a little bit different direction.
Yeah, really, and when you're talking about less than $10 per house, nobody's gonna notice it, or if they do notice it, that breaks
Yeah.
the bank, and they're, they've got a bad business model. So I just say that, this looks great to me. This looks great.
I'm very happy that this bottom line here, 115 is unchanged. I think that we might feel a little bit pain overall as we move towards making some changes. I think we pretty much made most of them at this point. And it's exciting where we're going and what the potential is gonna be. And, I think that overall, when the homeowners start seeing the fruits of our labor, I think that they're gonna be very happy.
You see the map, 90,000 equals $81 per year, and $6.75 per month.
Yeah, should be divided by 12. It's roughly $6 a month.
Can you check that number 9, total revenue, when I divide 4.1 minus 3.9, it's not 90,000, it's 164,000. So the numbers, if it's not an increase in that, it's how this times.
4128635 minus 394. Oh, 3954. 478. Oh, it's $174,000 increase.
Yeah, I told you it's, as long as there's
Oh, in revenue because of, it's the GM share, like, is like an additional that's an that we didn't.
I am shocked. So I need to take 11 because people are sellers.
You're
They-
budgeting for it, but, all you're looking at is line 2. You're not, sorry, I was talking to her. Yeah, so all you're looking at is this. So you figure.
And plus maturity fees, plus taxes, and also the amenities. But then you pay the AUB, but I know I actually got this. If you consider the enterprise, the units, the champions and the contract, here's, it's not like in terms of the. That's the reason occupancy is will be low, yeah. So obviously, the peak season is only like what, 7 months, 5 to 7 months, like the summer vacation cycles are typically how you look at it. So that is the only period that they make money. So they, what is the patience? Average is about $45,000 in vacation. I was across. Or like 15 to 20%, they pay to the property management companies. Plus, taxes, all those things. Yeah. $1 also told them. Or
So if you
last
take
year,
whatever it was,
I think the average.
you divide it by that one, so it's 300.
Just starting revenue.
32.
Mhm.
That's a picture.
Mhm.
It is a pinch of the revenue balance. That's fine.
Yeah, no, I've talked with several homeowners. They've been listening, like, I'm fixed it down. It's gone up 30% over the last 3 years. So 10% a year is, obviously, there and else. Well, what is
Created this to put.
And they, I think the reason the homeowners, so. I'm saying, see, it's not under,
You just have to see.
they didn't see nothing. And it just kept rising up, which is why I think you should.
Communication.
We should hold it for a year.
I feel bad.
I mean, it's a little bit, I mean, it's kind of my place. But I don't think there's things that come out. That's fine.
Well, I mean, this is also the high dollar mark, right? Like I want to say,
This
I
is.
mean, that doesn't mean that we have to spend all of this money.
You do not.
The homeowners get an assessment. We are locking it down today. Homeowners, the amount they paid will go up from last year.
They've already been noticed as well.
Yeah.
We confirmed. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
So notices to come out.
so that was my point, is we're gonna feel a little bit of pain as we turn the ship to bring more value so that we can start to trend things back down.
I do see one going down here, it's a GM caution.
Yeah,
7,500.
Mhm.
So we got half of that now.
If you look in the revenues, line
It's 5.
5 is that half of that HOA would pay.
Why? One.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that big page.
Right, so the revenue is half of the expenditure.
All right, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You're part of this line.
so that's 1.6.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
If you can say showing us we have to get those plots, the plots.
But it's right here, well,
And the way.
yeah, so, I mean, I guess my question would be,
Make sure we.
if I'm looking at this report with the 74,
Until the.
Okay.
get back in
Nine and.
Yellow.
somewhere from this.
1792. Is there this huge.
Yes.
He supplies information. Companies.
Let me make some fun. Let me just not. Make some fun.
All right, Ben.
Yes, I will finish.
Out of maybe 6, I know we do, recommend, but that's where it's a room like here, but that.
How about we bring the capital improvement down to 350?
I think we need to do it by 174.
Well, I'm saying like,
Yeah.
basically part of it, not all of it. Because we already established what we needed to replace this year based on our number study. And we can't, count our chickens before they hatch on the cafe.
There could be additional revenue, I mean, it could fill that back.
Correct.
So obviously, fill the board of capital expenditures as they do.
So how do we?
Board, if you could give me 1 minute, I'm trying to do some quick math.
So we have 175 made a janitorial service. I'm guessing that's the main service people like clean.
Yes.
Is there any way we can do away with that and do like in-house? I mean, they literally just come in here, they spend like a holiday in their Wilson County. And we're paying them $87,600.
I can look at.
Like, I literally see the, when I'm out, If I'm up at the front gate, I see that garage and I see that leave. And it's literally an hour and a half, like they like $87,000.
I think that's your housekeeping, your housekeepers. That's your housekeepers amount in your amenity contract.
You pay for the supplies, Joe.
That's your line for your, I can pull it, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Like, we have housekeeping, so I'll shift it over to the maintenance agreement.
$82.
I was thinking like inventorial is like after hours, managed services, which was like that, sometimes, good shit.
We look at trying to figure out what
We
we're.
pay for the supplies, or do they bring their own supplies?
We think it's wise.
Oh, so that's a lot of money to pay.
Equalize, man, that's great. So it's here, I'm looking at that, you're like,
Yeah.
That, well, that was my thing.
That's
We really, people on staff are in the things, and it's. They went down some windows and that's about it.
I mean,
This looks like a combination of Amenity Services LLC contract, JSS contract, and a Centos contract.
How much is the thing?
I'm just reading what prior management wrote in the explanation summary. Sorry.
What's the thing that?
The uniform.
yeah, the uniform, they also. Provide
Oh.
a lot of stuff, so.
All right, well, I guess that's three contracts, it's really not terrible.
I see.
JSS do.
The cost share for GM, that's Artemis pays them back,
The HOA.
the HOA. This 90, so it is a tree. Which is correct, you subtract this by this. And then that number, which is 4 million, year over year, it is a number that is about right.
Mhm.
So you're paying for the.
But this, is not being accounted for, but it's accounting for this.
Think that it's the lots
So it is, it's not.
in here, and then they serve the cafe.
Okay.
We don't have- It's only
Okay.
salads, so we don't pay for that, that's separate things.
So
There's,
they come and say now, once a week, and I just.
So it is 90,000.
The max.
they're just trying to figure out.
It is. So it is a 90.
Agreements are a nightmare. They're likely a 5-year with a payout buyout, and I did not review or know that that was in place, but Centos does not negotiate, so I wouldn't be hopeful for good terms.
I'll reach out.
I would hope that your amenity manager received that contract in a file transfer. I don't have it.
I mean, I'll look at it. As far as the maintenance side of the maintenance agreement though, we do have one that is.
Yes, and I pulled it. Your housekeeper, pricing is 50,169.60 in your contract.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, is it possible to do what we want to do 5% less on landscaping? It's our decision there, like if we,
Well,
but it, and could we find a way to.
they also don't have any.
Same way we secure.
Correct.
After 58%, maybe, it's not far from 70 usually a year.
Year-to-date actual, so as of May, you had spent 2,326,987 divided by 7, multiply that by 4. So you are looking to forecast, well, no, total budget. I think that's what he asked me.
It's for security.
Oh, just security? I think security has a couple line items.
Yeah, it's the main one.
Bear with me. You got it?
As of May,
How come you have those? This is great.
this is the last agenda.
Okay, okay. 336, year to date, as of May. $336,275 as of May.
We can probably bring that five, see if you very on that. We won't expect to be about.
Oh, hey,
What's that? Yeah, so in consult with the amended manager, we do think that we can take that off
Lovely.
in terms of the janitorial service portion.
So you said up janitorial service and 50,000 out of the security budget, since we have to use that, and not gonna get. Then we'd be at pretty much that saving of 90.
keep it flat.
Yep.
You are going to be responsible for buying food and beverage for the first time. And there is no line item in this budget accounting for all of
I
that.
think you have to leave it because we can't count on that revenue. If we end up with a surplus, then we change the trajectory for the next year's budget, but
No, we have not counting that.
October 1,
Of that,
as of October 1, assuming all things go well.
We are only talking about cutting from the other perspective, from the security of.
but that's.
But you would be cutting your fluff. So you propose an additional 90,000 and you could cut that fluff down, but to her point, you haven't budgeted for F&B.
That's the dollar. Here's one right now.
So
that's fine.
zero.
He has that inspiration. He can use that formal having.
That's it.
It's gotta feel safe, but we're not gonna be looking at increase when we do that, guys, for now.
Well, the budget, it doesn't really matter. how
The
we-
budget proposes an increase of 90,000. I have confirmed their math. So you are proposing an increased assessment to the residents at 90,000. I don't know what's going on with their charts or what they had. But, basically, you take line 108 at the back, which I confirmed. I added all the totals up. So line 108 is your total expenditures. Then you take line 5, 83,750, your GM cost share. You subtract that and it gives you the exact amount, which was, it was like 3 million and some change, but it equals out to the 90,000. The reason why you're subtracting the 83,000 is, that's revenue gained back to the district. Then you don't have to expense the residents for that additional 83. So you are proposing an increase of 90, which it would be my professional recommendation. And the only reason which we could justify to our residents, we just made a business decision to take on the cafe management services, F&B, for the first time. It would have been, but now knowing that we decided to do this in the best interest of the community and generate some revenue, we need at least 1 year to cover expenses. And then next year, if everything goes well and we're generating revenue, we could actually decrease.
$75 a house versus the.
It shouldn't be what they had. It should be what we had, which was roughly $6 a month, $7 a month.
Because we don't have any line for food and beverages, we made it delegate this, because
We could. You could take a motion basically to approve the budgeted amounts in substantial form, and I can allocate a new F&B line with this 90,000. So I will pull 30 from DC, I'll pull 20 from security, I'll pull 20 from the housekeeping to make up for it. So I originally had a motion from Bobby. I just have to finish this motion out. No, yeah, totally understand. So the motion from Bobby was to approve resolution 2025-22 in substantial form.
I'll do that, so approve resolution 2025-26. With a change 20,000 security, 20,000 to janitorial, and what did we say about?
30 from mine.
And 30 for yours?
For district council. Yes. and then create a food and beverage. That's right, okay. Second from Karen. Deb, I'm sorry, it's day one, excuse me, I'm so sorry. It's day one. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Just gonna make some quick notes.
And thank you very much for
I'm sorry.
Please see what's a little bit increase and get off the cat. And maybe down the line, if it doesn't work out, we're making a ton of money off the cat. Yeah, absolutely.
Bear, and then 20K, what was the other 20K? It was, security. All right. All right, board, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over. We're gonna open another public hearing for the assessments. Take a motion. Deb? A motion from Deb. Do I have a second to that motion?
Second.
Second from Karen. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. This public hearing is now open. Does anybody have any comments on the computer? On the imposing special assessments resolution? Hearing none. I'm so sorry, I didn't take a vote. All in favor? Opposed? Okay. I would be looking for a motion to close the public hearing at this time. Motion. Who was my second?
Deb.
Deb? All right. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. All right, council, take it away.
Right, so resolution 2025-23, by adopting this, the board is adopting the assessment role. You've adopted a budget, now we have to fund it. Approving this resolution is the mechanism by which your budget is funded.
Any
Any
questions?
questions? Then we'd be looking for a motion to approve resolution 25-23.
Motion. Karen. Second from Deb. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Bear with me. Resolution. All right. All right. Supervisor comments, anything to add in today that you would like to discuss with one another?
One thing, you mentioned about the, back ago,
Yes, sir.
okay, good email, you can handle your contact information, we can reach out directly, by the
Yes.
and Joe also requested some information from you for the one, how the real man is doing, first part at least, your numbers if you have it.
Yes.
Thank you.
First side is in terms of, you know, in the spirit of generating revenue and upgrading, you know, our level of services and everything else. Is it possible for us to invite vendors like pickleball, you know, having a pickleball, clinics, massages, things like that, where we're offering these things where people can come here and they can actually pay for these things on the side, you know, and you get like a little something. Can we do that?
I can work with amenity management to do that in a proper way.
Yeah, of course. That's the,
Mostly through, it's gonna be mostly you guys, but I can help with making that happen.
yeah, because we've got so many opportunities, and I think when we level up the services that we're offering, you know, it gives the homeowners, the short-term rental homeowners, the ability to say, hey, we also offer this menu of services. Every resort, every hotel does it, and that's a huge moneymaker for them and could provide us with another source of revenue. The second thing is, and I don't know if we can do this because this could be taken as a sidebar, but since I'm working on these landscape pots and this whole thing, but it involves Debbie's, I mean, I can't show her the pots and say, what do you think of these?
Not since you're both on the board. Nope, you can't use staff as a conduit.
And primarily glazed, they can have some terracotta on them. I don't care, other than that, I don't want like a Mexican tile
Calavera.
thing
Yeah.
or anything like that. Just
Yeah.
primarily bright blue and gray.
Yep. And both of our options are definitely next.
I mean, ideally, the ones in front of the bathrooms, I would like them to be a little bit taller, to kind of block the vents,
Right.
but,
We're there.
for, for aesthetic, to kind of cover that. But, that's, I don't want them to be matte finished, because it won't, it's just not mine, that
They're all highly glazed, they're all blues and
it would
teals.
be a surprise.
Yes.
All right.
Now, I will say, one supervisor Wickers picked and made her final selection. She tells Joe, and Joe wants to update the whole board simultaneously with, these are the pots that Karen picked.
Diana and I think Joe and I have had some sidebar conversations. They know what, I'm trying to achieve. I just don't have hours in the day that's talking for pottery.
I'm not related.
Understood.
So I am entrusting to.
Hi, Andy. This is Kristen from Bartlett Insurance. I received your information regarding the car insurance quote that you were looking at online. If you get a few moments, please give me a call back. My phone number is 954-317-9606. We work with a couple different companies, so I may be able to find some savings for you.
Disable the mic. There we go. All right, we're back. Yeah. 5 hours. Wow, we're in there. Any other supervisor comments?
I have one thing that came up on my little Sam's Club page, it's Hollywood. Hollywood, which is the same manufacturer of all of our loungers out here. They have the teal colored Adirondack chairs on sale for, I think, $150 each, which is a ridiculously great price. So I don't know how long they'll last, but if we're planning on making that improvement, that's something that, I don't know what you guys are thinking, but I
We
can.
talked about low Adirondack chairs kind of as a front row and spots where there's a lot of depth.
Yeah, so on that, I had to have a conversation with Meredith because I did reach out to, you had quotes previously from Vesta on a lot of that stuff. I did reach out to, an international contact who did provide, the same material at half cost. So that's where I wanted to have a conversation.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So, but it's in mind.
It's in the works.
Well, because I see that the estimate for the remaining furniture back there was like $35,000. If we can buy it for half, then, that's the money that you can have for a food and beverage or something else.
We will work with Joan.
So, is everybody?
It needs to be given to the public.
Karen, can you screenshot and give that to
Absolutely.
your district manager?
I'll include it in the summary. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, board.
Yes, ma'am. And I'll get it.
I'm gonna give you all my business card before you leave. I have it with me for contact info. Any other supervisor comments? If not, I'd be looking for a motion of adjournment. Motion from Brian. Second from Deb. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. This meeting is adjourned at 2:53 PM. Everybody on the call, thank you so much.